Good morning once more. Once again, your servant, Bishop Dr. Owusu, have come your way. This time, I'm going to talk about how the Western world has been controlling the minds of Africans and people of African descent. You see, he who controls your mind controls your life. And how do you control somebody's mind? By educating the person. Now, if an education system in a nation is wrong, everything the nation does will be wrong. And that's what the Western world has managed to give to Africans, so that we cannot produce analytical thinkers, critical thinkers. We are only producing workers, people who go to school only to learn about. Some time ago, they were teaching us Latin, Greek, philosophy, things that could not help production in the country. That's what the story of education they gave to us. They only wanted to teach us to be able to speak their languages, so that when they come here to trade, we will only be interpreters. They will pretend to take us as workers and as executives. No, we are, to them, we are interpreters, so that we are of no use to this country. And if they are paying you to interpret their policies to your people, they will make sure they pay you well, they make you feel good, so that you tell your people, you will even add on to what they want you to do. I don't want anybody to tag me as anti-foreigners. No, I am an African to the core. And it's so sad to see Africa at this, in the 21st century. Africa is still as if we are in the 18th century. When people are going to the moon, going to the Mars, developing supersonic equipment, what are we doing? We can't even manufacture bicycles. We have to import bicycles. And it's so, it's a very well-planned system to keep you uneducated or ill-educated. You think you have been to the university and you can do anything. No, you can't do anything. We have professors in engineering who can't fix bolts in machines. Of course, that's not their business, but they should be able to manufacture things that will help Africa. But it's not their fault. It's the system of education that the Western world has foisted on Africa. And this is what pains me, and I'm coming our way. I am just bringing to the fore things that are happening, and it's keeping Africa underdeveloped. I know when this gets to some of the Western powers, they might think there's this old man somewhere who is trying to kick against our interests, and we have to deal with him. No, no problem. You come. I'm here. I'm not at this age, over 70 years. The worst you can do to me is to kill me. If you kill me, that is fine. I'm going to rest, because I've prepared myself to go to heaven. So if you speed up the process, that's good. But the point is, it's about time that we pointed certain things out to leaders in Africa, so that we can do certain things that will help Africa to develop. Now, earlier on, I said, he who controls your mind controls your life. So the best way to control somebody's life is to give them education that will not help them. A very dangerous person in any system is a teacher who teach the wrong things. And this is the education that the Western world has given to us. They give us the education that will keep us perpetually as employees and never being able to be employers. And I think we need to change this sort of education, and then go for the type of education that will make us think critically, analyze situations, and be able to come up with things that will help in the development of Africa. We need to produce critical thinkers, analytical thinkers, and then people who will be able to use the knowledge they've acquired to produce something. My information is that in Burkina Faso, they've recalled most of their professors abroad, and they are building satellites. They have built satellites, and they are doing great things. The drones they are producing, purposely for agriculture. Africa, we have arable lands, very good for producing food, and yet we are hungry. If we can all go that way, bring in drones to water our arable lands, bring in tractors and this, even the tractors. Can't we, at this age, manufacture tractors in Africa? You see, if somebody gets up to do something, instead of African leaders supporting that individual to do something great for the nation, they would rather want to import, because that is what they have been bribed to do. We have nice rice fields in Ghana, in Nigeria, in Cameroon, yet the leaders will give um, support to importers to import the rice, and that is, they support the economy for other countries. In Ghana, we eat a lot of rice, but how much of the rice we eat do we produce in this nation? We will procure rice from China, from Malaysia, from India, from so many countries. So you are supporting the farmers in those countries to produce. What are we doing to our own farmers? What support can't we give to our farmers to produce, so that even if we are not able to export, we will be self-sufficient in food production? The climate change is making rains scarce these days. Yeah, so we will resort to irrigation. Now, in Burkina Faso, they are using drones to irrigate the land, the fields. It is a sad story for Ghana to depend on Burkina Faso for onions, for tomatoes, and for other vegetables. Look at the arable lands we have in Ghana. Please let the leaders sit down, think about the African nations, rather than supporting development and yes, production, the productivity in the Western world. Now, isn't so sad? Isn't it so sad that you come to a country like Ghana with all the education that we have, with all the educated people we have, you come to an association and they call themselves Association of Unemployed Graduates. Unemployed graduates. Is it not out of the education system? The leaders are playing games with our education system. One government comes and says, I will make SHS 3 years. Another comes, I'll make it 4 years. And then the table turns and the other comes, I'll revert it to 3 years. What is the rationale? That is what we want to find out. What is the rationale in making SHS 3 years or 4 years? What will be the content of education that the 3 years can support or the 4 years can support? Why can't we come and have a template that no one can change it? Let's think together. Rather than playing political games with the education, let us all come together to develop an educational system that will help develop the nation, produce employable people, not people who can only read and write, and that is it. No, Unemployed Graduates Association. It's so unfortunate. It's so unfortunate. So please let us look at our educational system. In our time, when I was growing up, you go to school at the age of 6 years. So you start class one. We didn't have these preschools. You go to class one, and you have to spend 6 years in the primary school from class one to P6. 6 years. So add that to your age. You at P6, you are 12 years, and then you go to middle school, and that is 4 years before you take the middle school leaving certificate examination. So add 4 years to your 12 years, you are 16 years. Now, if you want to go to we used to call it secondary school, now the SHS. Secondary school, you will have 5 years uh, O-level, ordinary level education. If you want to continue, you have 2 years advanced level education. So add them all together. Before you go to the university, you are about getting to 30 years. So you are mature. You are mature. And you know the advantage. People at 30 years, people already employed, many of them will be going on a pension, some voluntarily, some compulsory. So there is no place for unemployed graduates, because many in the system have gone out of the system. So there's always a place for them. And the economy is expanding. If the economy is expanding, then it means we will need more of these graduates. So they will always find employment, and the government will be at peace. So what is the rationale in cutting the almost 22, 23 years in education to now about 6 or so? You go to 6 years primary education, 3 years JHS, 3 years SHS. So it's about 6 plus 6, 12 years. And he's going to university. So some go to university at 17. So what will be the maturity level? And you do 4 years university education. So it's about 21, and you are done with the first degree. How is such a person going to be employed and will perform well in the place of employment? Let us think about these things and stop playing education games with our education system. God bless you. I'll come your way again. God bless you all.